What's up guys, Time Jim here, and today I'll be doing a video about, well actually it's been one that's been requested by a friend of mine, and he requested this because he thought it'd be an interesting topic, and so did I. So, without further ado, I'm going to be doing sort of a video about comic doubles in the comic universes, both for Marvel and DC and other universes, but mostly I'm going to be focusing on Marvel and DC. A lot of times we as comic fans, we talk about characters that are very similar and pretty much in versus battles and stuff like that. So this video is sort of a dedication and sort of answers a question that was asked along with the request about the mirror image characters, and why stuff like this happens and stuff like that. So we'll discuss that in the video. So yeah, I'll be going over several characters. I won't be going about a lot of them. I'll be going quite a few of them, but yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the video. So first off, let me explain the rules of this video. There's only going to be Marvel and DC. Now granted, there are similar characters in Image Comics and Dark Horse Comics, what have you, but I'm going to be mainly focused on Marvel and DC, not only because they're the more popular characters, but just because I'm more familiar with Marvel and DC. Like I said before, I grew up on Marvel. I'm more knowledgeable about Marvel lore, but I have been reading more DC as of late, and getting into DC a lot more as of late. So yeah, so I have a bit more knowledge with DC now. Only similar characters apply. That meaning either they have to have the same kind of power sets, similar backstory, similar character design, what have you. If they're pretty similar, then I'm gonna discuss them. One character per universe, so it's basically 1v1. Superman in particular has either 2 or 3 counterparts in the Marvel universe. I could choose one, but since there's 3 of them, I'm not going to be doing him. So yeah, that's going to be a big drawback, but probably going to make a lot of people sad. But them's the rules, kids. So yeah. One final thing is that I'll be going over not only just the similarities, but the differences there are between them, between the 2 characters. So yeah, I really hope you find this video educational, with both the similarities and the differences between the 2 characters. And I hope you, not just with these characters, but further down the road, I hope you kind of do your research and find some new little nuggets and stuff like that with other characters in both universes, and see why they're similar and different. So let's go ahead and get started with our first 2 characters. First, we're going to start off with Deadpool and Deathstroke. I love these 2 characters. They're so awesome. They're very, very cool. They're very, very unique in their universes, but yet very similar as far as their cross universes go. Both are mercenaries. So basically, that means they are both hired killers. They work for money to kill people. So yeah. That's what they do, and they do their job very, very well. They both have healing factors. Now, granted, Deadpool's is a lot stronger than Deathstroke's. Deathstroke does have a healing factor, however, it's not as powerful as Deadpool's. In fact, Deadpool at one time wanted to die, but he found out he couldn't, even after exploding to a million pieces. He still came back to life, and it's theorized that he is immortal. So yeah, that's how strong Deadpool's healing factor is. Deathstroke does have a healing factor, but it's not nearly as powerful as Deadpool's. In fact, there's one thing in particular that Deathstroke cannot heal from, and I'll explain that in a little bit. And lastly, the similarities are they are both subject to top secret experiments. Deathstroke being a subject to a military experiment when he joined the military, and Deadpool being the subject of the Weapon X experiment, the Weapon X project. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with Deathstroke. So Deathstroke is one of my favorite characters in the DCU. He's right up there with Sinestro, who Sinestro is actually my favorite DC villain. He was first created in 1980, so he is about as old as I am. As a matter of fact, he is just as old as I am. So he's been around for a while, and it's one of the reasons why I like him, because he's just as old as I am. So that's pretty awesome. His real name is Slade Wilson. Now I'll get to the reason why I put down his real name in a bit, but that is his real name is Slade Wilson. And if you've watched any of the Teen Titan movies or the TV show, you'll know that they don't call him Deathstroke in the TV show or in the little direct-to-DVD movie or TV movie, wherever it was. They call him Slade. I guess they thought Deathstroke was too harsh for a kid audience, yet they call him Deathstroke in Young Justice, which I don't know. I don't understand that at all. But anyway, so he's gone by the moniker the Terminator. Now, if you're as old as I am, you know that the Terminator, the movie, was created around that time, around 1980, and DC sort of feared they would get sued for using the moniker the Terminator at the end of Deathstroke's name. So it was sort of wiped off for a while. It sort of didn't stick with him. Although lately people have used the Terminator along with Deathstroke, here and there and stuff like that. So the moniker still stays, and it's rightfully so, because he is a Terminator. I mean, that's all he does is just kill people, and he does it very well. So yeah, so it's a nickname, and you'll get another reason why I chose to put the nickname there when I talk about Deadpool. So one of the things that makes Deathstroke sort of near and dear to me is because he's partially blind. Now, the reason why he's partially blind is because he was injured in the eye. I believe he was shot in the eye, and that was before he got his. He was experimented on and got his regenerative superpowers, and but see, the thing is that the regenerative powers never brought back his eye to regenerate. Never regenerated his eye back. So he has been partially blind ever since then. And for me, being partially blind myself, this is very cool, because having someone with a handicap like that, very similar to mine, is totally awesome. I mean, he's such a great character, and he's the best. Like I said, he's the best at what he does in his respective universe, and I guess that's why I admire him so much, and why he's real close, near and dear to my heart, is because I relate to him a whole lot. So with those, not only with being near the same age, but having the same handicap. So yeah, very, very odd, but very, very cool at the same time. So what I'm doing with these characters is that not only will be going a little bit of background, but also be doing sort of their claim to fame and what have they done that was really awesome. So, for the case of Deathstroke, there was a time where he fought a bunch of members of the Justice League and won. In particular, I mean, he's fought Superman, he's fought Wonder Woman, he's fought Batman, but at one time though, he fought a bunch of Leaguers in a group. And Green Lantern was included, and he beat all of them, including Green Lantern, which is awesome. Yeah, if you ever wanted someone on your side that just doesn't care and is extremely good at what he does, Deathstroke's that person. So yeah. Next up is Deadpool. Deadpool is so awesome. He's one of the most. He's probably one of the funniest characters ever to be created. But I'll get you reason what happened when he got created. He was created in 1991. Now, there's been some sort of misconception, debate as to who was created first, Deadpool or Deathstroke. I remember reading a Deadpool comic in the 1990s, and that was his first premiere. So I don't know how that misconception got about, but yeah, Deadpool was created in 1991. I read his first appearance, and he actually wasn't the character he is now. He didn't have the inner monologue. He wasn't as zany as he was now. He was still incredibly funny. I'll give you that, but he was a little more serious back then, and I sort of missed that. I kind of missed that. Not to say that he's bad now, but those were some pretty awesome comics back then. His real name is Wade Wilson. Now, like I said before, there's a reason why I put up Deathstroke's real name. Back when Deadpool was being created, the writers sort of thought about Deathstroke and how great a character he was, how cool he was, and they thought, well, let's make a joke character for Deathstroke. Let's make him sort of a funny character, and sort of playfully mocking Deathstroke. So that's why they chose the name Wade Wilson, was sort of to mock Deathstroke's character in a way, but it ended up being a very successful and very, very cool. His nickname is the Merc with a Mouth. Now, if any of you have read a Deadpool comic, you know why he's called the Merc with a Mouth. The guy will not shut up. I mean, he talks about everything and everything. He breaks the fourth wall. He's the Merc with a Mouth. You can't shut him up. But that's what makes him so great, is because he can't shut up, and he provides all that comic relief and sort of brings the fun back into comics, because a lot of times comics are very serious and they have a very serious tone. Deadpool brings their hilarity to his books, in any book he's in. One of his big claims to fame is that he killed the entire Marvel U. Now, granted, this was an alternate version of Deadpool, but yeah, he killed the entire Marvel universe. He even stepped into some fictional other stories, like other fictional characters' books, like Red Riding Hood, Sherlock Holmes, all those books, and killed them too. So yeah, pretty crazy. But like I said, it's an alternate universe, and it's still impressive, to say the least. So next up, we'll be talking about Aquaman and Namor. These two are they're pretty underrated in some people's eyes, but if any of you have read comics, you know that these two should not be underrated. They're both extremely good at what they do, and extremely powerful. Both are kings of the sea. So basically, they rule 70% of the entire planet in their respective universe. Why? Because they're kings of the sea, and the ocean is 70% of our planetary surface. So they basically rule over almost over 2/3 of the planet. Both are very, very powerful. Not just physically powerful, but they're politically powerful as well. Meaning, like I said, they're both kings, and so they have a bit more pull than most people do. And since their kingdom is so vast, they have a little more leeway as far as things politically goes. So yeah, and ironically, both of them live in the legendary city of Atlantis. So that's pretty cool, I guess. So yeah. So first up, we're going to talk about Aquaman. Aquaman's been in the news as of lately. He's been for years. He's sort of been a mocked character, which unjustly so. But what can you do? He was first created in 1941, so he's been around a long time, and it's unknown why he is so mocked but he's one of the most recognized characters in the DC universe. You mentioned Aquaman, and more than likely they're gonna know what you're talking about. His power is sort of been a mockery for a very long time. The Super Friends TV show, animated show, when it was aired, really didn't give the character justice, and sort of gave way to a lot of jokes and stuff like that, and a lot of people wondering, why is this guy even considered a major character? However, recently, Jeff Johns' work on Aquaman, has done this character justice, because if you've read any of his Aquaman stuff, he's done this character. He is so awesome now. Even in Injustice, he's considered a top tier character because he's so good. I hate fighting Aquaman in the game. Oh my god! But he is a good character. The reason why I put telepathically communicates with aquatic life, not just fishes, aquatic life. It could be any aquatic life. It could be sea urchins. It could be starfish. It could be bacteria. It could be sea anemones. It doesn't matter. If it's in the sea, he can communicate it and he can bend it to its will to do what he wants it to. So, he's used sharks before, and he's used whales. He's used a ton of stuff for very creative reasons. And so I think it just took the right person to make Aquaman a viable character in DC, and finally he got it. He wields a trident. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know Aquaman's history too well, but I'm pretty sure the trident holds significance to both his royal authority and has some mystical properties as well. If someone out there can correct me on this or can explain it more, please feel free to write in the comments. That way I don't seem too ignorant about it, but I know it holds both mystical and royal properties to it. So yeah, and he always carries that with him. One of his big claims to fame is that if you've read or even watched the movie The Flashpoint Paradox, he, in that alternate universe, he was at war with Wonder Woman and the Amazons. While during this war, he sent the ocean to do massive killing and killed millions of people in Europe, and pretty much was going to cause the end of the world with that war with Wonder Woman. So yes, like I said, read some of Jeff Johns' work. You'll be so impressed with the way Aquaman has turned out now, and even some of the stuff that is going on right now is very, very impressive as well. So next up is Namor. Now, Namor has been around longer than Aquaman, and as a matter of fact, he's been around so long that he fought with Captain America in World War II as part of the Defenders. Pretty crazy. He's not as well known as Aquaman, yet he's been around longer, and he's fought with Captain America, which is weird. I believe that sometime in the future, it may not be in the near future, it may be sometime a lot longer, but one day I hope to see that Namor does get his recognition, because he's such an intriguing character, and I hope he gets his time to shine in the spotlight for an animated series or part of an animated series or what have you. He's one of the toughest beings on the face of the planet right now. Not just like physically tough. He has a really big ego, and he's very stubborn. Because he's the king and whatnot. His attitude, his whole demeanor, and stuff like that, makes him very irritable and very hard to deal with, both politically and physically. So yeah, he's a tough customer as far as a character in the Marvel U goes. One of his big claims to fame, and recently, is that he possessed the Phoenix Force in Avengers vs. X-Men. I read this, and he became pretty savage in that series when he used the Phoenix Force, and he was very tough to deal with the Phoenix Force. I mean, you thought he was tough without the Phoenix Force. Wait till you see him with the Phoenix Force. It was crazy, and he started a whole war with Black Panther and Wakanda, and I believe that's still going on now. So yeah, pretty crazy. Namor's definitely a character you do not want to mess with, though. So next up, we're going to be talking about Doctor Strange and Dr. Fate. These two characters are very, very, very similar. It's crazy. A lot of them actually people consider them pretty much the same character. If you read the Aglamum universe, where both Marvel and DC combined. These two characters combined, and basically you couldn't tell which was which because they were so closely aligned. It's crazy. Both of them are the Sorcerer Supreme in their universe. So basically, what that means is that they become the master of any type of mystical properties in the universe, any spells, whatever like that, anything that has to do with mysticism. They're the protector of the realm from any type of mystical threat or mystical anomaly. So they know, tons of spells, tons of spell casting, any type of occult lore. They're the master, and they know all of it. What's funny though is that both of them live in sort of a mystical hotspot. So basically, Doctor Strange lives in the Sanctum Sanctorum. Dr. Fate lives in the Tower of Fate. So they both live in sort of mystical Wi-Fi spots, and sort of draw upon that energy for some time or for some situation or another. So first we're going to talk about Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange has been around quite a long time. He was created in 1963. What's interesting about Doctor Strange, though, is that, you can put doctor in front of a lot of things, but actually Doctor Strange was actually a real doctor. He was actually a surgeon. So, that's pretty unique about doctors, and, when they put doctor, that he was actually a real life doctor. One of the artifacts he uses is called the Eye of Agamotto. Now, this thing was extremely powerful. It can dispel illusions. It can send people through space and time. It amplifies anyone who possesses it. Amplifies their mystical ability, what have you. It's a very, very extremely powerful artifact, and he had this for a long time until he fought Agamotto himself. Then the eye was lost, and he no longer has it. So basically, from the picture you see here, he's not quite the same now. He's a little depowered, but he's still quite powerful, and he's still considered the Sorcerer Supreme right now. So yeah. Next up is Dr. Fate. Now, Dr. Fate has actually been around longer than Doctor Strange. He's actually been around since 1940. And if any of you that have read the Justice Society of America, you know that he's been around for a very, very, very long time. What's unique about Dr. Fate is that Dr. Fate isn't an actual person. It's the helmet. The helmet is actually a conduit for a being called Nabu, which whenever the helmet is put on, the host body sort of acts, the body acts like a host for Nabu, who controls the body from then on at that point. Now Nabu and Dr. Fate are avatars of order, so he's a lord of order. So he basically is very serious to a fault, and establishes order in the universe from any type of chaotic event or chaotic creature that may come across in this universe, or in the DC universe. Excuse me. One of his biggest claims to fame was that he fought sort of his counterpart, a Lord of Chaos. But Dr. Fate fought this Lord of Chaos without a body. So there was no host body, yet Dr. Fate, or Nabu, fought this Lord of Chaos without a body attached to him. So that goes to show you that the helmet is pretty strong and can do whatever it takes to defeat whatever thing that may come to destroy order, even without a body. So pretty impressive and very, very cool. So next up, we're going to be talking about Hawkeye and Green Arrow. Now these two are pretty much like almost identical to a fault, because they have a lot of similarities. If you put them against in a fight, it pretty much would come to a draw. Both are expert marksmen and martial artists. So basically, they're the bow and arrow guys in Marvel and DC. You set them to shoot a target, they can probably shoot it from several miles away and hit it dead on, a bullseye. So they're that good. Both are pretty much the comic release of their respective teams in their respective universes. They both kind of have a sarcastic sense of humor to them, but yet, it's not annoying, but it's pretty funny. They are very, very good comic relief characters. And both use trick arrows in their arsenal, so they'll have something like ice arrows or fire arrows, explosive arrows, gas arrows, anything to fit their situation, anything that they seem fit to use in a certain situation. So, yeah, very cool. And they're sort of like Batman, where they're sort of prepared for any situation. So first we're going to talk about Hawkeye. Hawkeye is very cool. He's one of my favorite Avengers. He was created in 1964, so he's been around a while. He was actually created, he was meant to be a villain first, but then he joined the Avengers, and he's been one of the greatest Avengers of all time. So yeah, what's unique about Hawkeye is that he has both a member of the Avengers and he's been an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Lately he has been retconned to be both an Avenger and an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I find a lot better, and it finds that it makes his backstory a lot cooler. But I really have no problem. Some people have a problem with it. I have no problem with it. I find it a lot cooler because it sort of brings more depth to the character and more of a greater backstory to him. He can use more than a bow and arrow, so any type of weapon that he comes across, he can use to pretty much expert level efficiency. If it's a sword, nunchucks, a bow, a gun, knife, anything that he puts his hands on can be used as a weapon. My theory about Hawkeye is that he has some sort of altered human capabilities, or it may be a mutant. It's never been expanded upon. It's never explained why he's so proficient of it, other than his circus realms. But even then, his circus affiliation. But even then, that requires some sort of mutant power, because any weapon he touches, even like I said, swords and stuff like that, he uses pretty much with ease and with it's crazy. So it's theorized that he may have some sort of power that goes along with that ability. His big claim to fame is that he became the leader of the Secret Avengers for a time. Anytime when you become a leader of a team in the universe, it's a pretty big deal, and I'm glad to see Hawkeye was a leader of a team for a time, because he does have a lot of leadership capabilities and qualities to him, and I think he gets, hopefully he'll get another chance to lead a team sometime in the near future, because I think he'll do very well. Next up, we're just going to be Green Arrow. Now, Green Arrow has been around a little bit longer than Hawkeye. He was actually created in 1941. If any of you have read Green Arrow, Green Lantern, you know that he's been around for quite a bit. He's both a member of the Justice League and the Justice League of America. If you've been reading the New 52, you know he's been dealing with the JLA for a while. He's skilled in hand-to-hand combat. So basically, he's sparred with and fought with Batman. He's had training with Black Canary and Wildcat. Some of the best hand-to-hand combat technicians in the DCU. So that that makes him very well-rounded in hand-to-hand combat. His one claim to fame is that, or one of his claims to fame is that he killed a villain, Prometheus, out of revenge. This happened pre-New 52. A lot of things. Prometheus did some very horrible things to Speedy, or Roy Harper, and Green Arrow just didn't like it, didn't care for it. He took him to the breaking point, and he killed Prometheus. One arrow to the head, and that's all it took, and that's the whole fight. That was it. I believe he was kicked out of the Justice League as well, and that ended up making his marriage to Black Canary divorced. They divorced after that, I believe, and a lot of other things as well. But since they retconned the New 52, things have gone the other way. So and they just totally changed the story. So yeah, that's his big claim to fame. Next up is Galactus and the Anti-Monitor. These two are pretty much the definition of powerhouses in their respective universe, because they're universe destroyers, world eaters. They are huge. Like I said, they both need to feed on universal bodies to survive. So basically, it could be a planet in a universe, a sun, whatever. They need to feed on universal bodies to survive. They're so massively powerful. That's what they need for food. Are extremely powerful. That goes without saying, because if they need to feed on that type of stuff, of course they're going to be powerful. And they need containment armor to hold their powers. So basically, in the case of Anti-Monitor, he's pretty much pure energy, other than a few skeletal remains that remain inside. But he's pretty much pure energy. And if that containment suit were to rupture in some way, Antimatter would scatter all over the place, because he really can't control that much power all at one time. Same with Ghost of Galactus. He's pretty much human in the suit, but the power cosmic is so powerful that he needs something to contain it all. So yeah. So let's talk about the Anti-Monitor first. Anti-Monitor was created fairly recently. It's created in 1985, and if you read any of the Crisis books, the Crisis on Infinite Earths, those type of Crisis books, he was one of the main antagonists in the book. And that's actually where he first appeared. He manipulates antimatter energy. So basically, any of the negative energy that's in the universe, he can create, consume, and project at will. So he wields such vast amounts that it's pretty much game over if you encountered him, basically. He's fought both heroes and villains. Like I said, if you read any of the Crisis books, you know that he's come across the JLA, the Justice League, the Justice Society. He's also fought Black Adam, Lex Luthor, all in those books. So yeah, he's come across several beings. Necron, yeah. He's fought both villains and heroes. His one big claim to fame is that he consumed an entire universe. Cord, which is in the antimatter universe, basically. That universe was consumed because of, because he consumed that universe, and there was nothing else to stop him. So, yeah, he consumed that entire universe. So that universe is pretty much dead. Next up is Galactus. Now, Galactus has been around for a very, very, very long time. He's been in so many movies and media, whatever, animated series, whatever. Anyone who knows Marvel Comics knows about Galactus. He's created in 1966, so yeah, he's been around a lot longer than the Anti-Monitor has been. He possesses the Power Cosmic now. The Power Cosmic basically is the most overpowered power in any comic universe anywhere for the end of time, because it can do so much. It has done a lot, and it especially the trump card for any comic discussion whatsoever, because it's so massively overpowered. It's been said that it can depower someone, it can empower someone. The Power Cosmic can open up wormholes. It can sense energy from light years away. It's even been theorized to create life. So that's how powerful the Power Cosmic is, and how powerful Galactus is theorized to be. So, yeah, he is extremely powerful. He's one of the most feared entities in the Marvel U. The reason being is because, well, he eats planets. If you haven't known yet, now you know. Basically, if he ever shows up to your planet, you're screwed because there's nothing you can do. Unless you're Mr. Fantastic and get the ultimate nullifier and blah blah blah. But that's a different story. But yeah, if he shows up to your planet, you're screwed. Just like the Skrulls, their whole planet was devoured by Galactus, and they couldn't do nothing about it. So yeah, and then see how powerful the Skrulls are because they have Super Skrull and still couldn't do anything about it. One of his big things though is that he's fought alongside the heroes in the universe when the universe was in peril. This has happened on several occasions: the Infinity War, the Infinity Gauntlet, Annihilation. Several events have caused him to fight alongside the heroes. Because if you know Marvel lore, you know that it's a common misconception basically that Galactus is a villain. He is not a villain. He in fact is part of the cosmic balance. If you've watched my last video, you know that I call him a cosmic abstract is because he's part of the fabric of the universe. He's part of the cosmic balance and tries to maintain the cosmic balance by eating planets and basically keeping the engine running as far as the universe goes. So he's neither good or bad. He's just something that is a force of nature. So, and that's why. But if he shows up to your planet, you're screwed. So the last two characters I'm going to be doing for this video are Thanos and Darkseid. Man, these two characters are awesome. They're probably the most evil characters in either universe because, yeah, they're crazy. And the reason why they're considered some of the most evil is that they're both nihilists. Basically, what that means is that they want to destroy the entire universe. No questions asked, good or evil, hero, villain, doesn't matter. They wanted to end it all. Both have tremendous physical and cosmic power. I'll get into the cosmic power a bit, but both have base Hulk level, Superman level strength. It's theorized they may be even stronger than them, and yeah, crazy physical power. And the reason why they're feared a lot of the time is not just because they're nihilists, it's because they're nihilists on a grand scale, on a cosmic scale, on a universal scale. Whenever they plan and scheme for things, the universe should tremble because the universe is in peril because they have goals and aspirations that go far beyond just planetary stuff. It involves the entire universe. And usually when you see these two in a comic, it usually means a bunch of heroes and probably some villains are in the fight because the universe is at stake. So let's go ahead and talk about Darkseid for a bit. Darkseid has been around longer than Thanos. He's been around since 1970, so he's been around a while. Funny thing though about Darkseid is that I never read any of his work or any work that he was in until about 1990, the mid 90s, when the Superman animated series came on, and Michael Ironside was the voice. That pretty much hooked me as far as Darkseid goes. So yeah. Darkseid is both a lord and master of Apocalypse, so it's basically a planetary body, and is basically hell because he rules that world with an iron fist, and it is pretty much a planet of desolation, despair, and misery, and he sort of feeds off of that. So yeah, it's crazy. One of his big powers that Darkseid has is the Omega Effect. Now, the Omega Effect is a power that can be used for a variety of effects. It can disintegrate someone. It can transport someone. It can injure someone severely. It can outright kill someone. It can travel through space and time. It can travel, universes away. It's extremely powerful. One common misconception about how he uses it, though, the Omega Force, is that he just shoots it from his eyes. That's a common misconception. He can shoot it from anywhere he wants. He can shoot it from his hands, his mouth, but the most common use that we've seen it from is from his eyes. Darkseid, like I said, he's a nihilist. He's in pursuit of a thing called the anti-life equation. And with this equation, he can end all life and then recreate it in his own image. So if he ever gets a hold of this anti-life equation, everything, say goodbye to everything that we know, because he's won, and there's nothing, no one can do it, anything can do about it. His one big claim to fame is that he's beaten Superman several times. In fact, he's beaten him so badly on one occasion that he brainwashed him and he turned him on the universe. So, yeah, pretty crazy, but he's done it, and that's just something that should not be shunned at, because you have Superman on your side to doing bad things, and yeah, you're considered pretty cool. So the last character we have on this list is Thanos, and I have to say that Thanos is in fact my second favorite villain of all time, right up next to Doctor Doom. Crazy good, he's awesome. He was created in 1978, and he was born on the Saturn's moon of Titan. Now, if you've ever read anything that has involved Thanos at all, you know that he's been sometimes called the Mad Titan. And this is a moniker of twofold. One, yes, he was born on Saturn's moon Titan. That's his home world. On another hand, is that, to consider how bulky and how powerful he is, and not just physically strong, but cosmically strong, power-wise, he's a Titan. He's not someone you should mess with. So that's sort of a moniker of twofold, like I said. Just like Darkseid, he's a nihilist, but the reason why he's a nihilist is that he's literally in love with the embodiment of death. He is so enamored with death, he will do anything to win her affection, including killing everyone in the entire universe, and which he's not only done once, he's done it several times. In fact, 3 times. He's done it with the Infinity Gauntlet, with the Heart of Darkness, and if you've read Marvel: The End, he done it that time too. Completely wiped out all the universe. There was nothing left except him, and I believe it was the Living Tribunal. I don't quite remember, but there was nothing left but blackness and him and another, either the Watcher or Living Tribunal. I forget who it was. So yeah, and he's fought everyone. I mean everyone. Anyone who was anyone in the Marvel U fought Thanos and still lost. All of them together, they still lost. So it's crazy. But yeah, and I think that's one of the things that sort of ones up Darkseid, is that, yeah, Thanos has Thanos has claimed, he's basically claimed his nihilistic tendencies as of Darkseid. I don't believe he has achieved his goal, but who knows in the New 52, if the New 52 comes along and maybe they finally have Darkseid do something like that. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. So a question that has come up along with this video that I was requested is, why are there so many similar characters in both the universes? Well, that's a good question. There's a couple of several reasons why. Some of them are my opinion, and some of them can actually could be pretty close to the truth. But yeah, so here we go. Both companies have had the same artists and writers at one time or another. Jeff Johns has worked for both companies. Jim Lee has worked for both companies. JMS has worked for both companies at one time or another. So, at a given time, they're both going to have similar characters because they both have similar writers. And writers and artists sort of have characters they're attached to when they create them. So, more than likely, they're going to create similar characters in the company they're going to be employed with after they are employed from another company. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons. Another reason is when a company's character you know, is riding a wave of popularity. Just like any other company, they want to grab some of that popularity, so they're going to create a character similar to theirs. Maybe not as cool, maybe not as prolific as the first one, but that's one of the other reasons why they have similar characters. Another one is that some characters are just worth producing twice. I mean, if a character is good, why not produce it secondly? This is just my opinion, but yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why. Hey, if a character is good, why not just do it another time? So that's probably one of the reasons why we see two characters of similar powers and design and stuff like that. And lastly, it just makes for great comic discussions. It just makes for good comic shop and discussions online and just general fun all around. I mean, it just makes for good discussion and genuine good clean fun when you're discussing both these characters. So yeah, I think that's one of the big reasons why to keep people like you and me interested and keep talking about it for years to come. So I hope you liked this video. I know I didn't get to every single character, but I just thought this video would be a lot longer and probably would bore you sometime or another. But yeah, notable mention, notable honors go to Flash and Quicksilver. Like I said, Superman and Hyperion and Sentry. Yeah, I believe Blue Marvel too. I'm not sure. I haven't really read up on Blue Marvel, but yeah, I think him too. Those are all both similar characters in both the respective universes that I didn't get to, but like I said before, I hope you do research and do more stuff like that online or on comic shops or whatever, and find some research and have fun with this subject, because there's so many different characters like this, and they're so fun to read, and I hope you enjoy while you're doing that. So please like, comment, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was educational for you, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye guys, take care.